Dana White's Contender Series 2022, week number 3, weigh-in recap show, full card predictions, and the betting breakdown. We're going to talk about each of the matchups after seeing the fighters on the scales. Make sure you guys smash that like button. If you're new, subscribe to the channel. Turn those post notifications on and share the video as well. Let's jump into fight 1. First one, ladies matchup, Sandra Lovato versus Carolina Vojic. I'm going to actually be going with Lovato as an underdog. She fights pretty well from range. She's a scrappy striker with, I would say, a competent ground game. Vojic wants this fight in the clinch. She wants to pressure her opponent against the cage and get it to the mat. Control from top position. I'm not super impressed with the grappling game that I've seen. Yes, it's competent. Yes, she has ability. Lovato's more of a scrapper. She's got good punching power, not necessarily one-punch knockout artist type power, but she'll throw heat, and I think it's going to make Vojic at least cautious of pressing in without much respect for the pop on the Lovato side. A little bit awkward, Lovato being a little bit awkward, which I actually like. I think that's kind of a favorable asset that she has here taking on Vojic. Now, as far as the face-off, we'll look at Lovato on the scale. Looks pretty decent there. We'll continue to scroll down. There is Carolina Vojic. You see an intense face-off, but a fair size discrepancy. Now, I do think there is an understandable, lean to the favor of Vojic, pressing inside, controlling. Granted, not a very UFC contract signing style. If you're looking at this matchup and you're thinking who's going to get a contract if winning, right? I think Lovato brings the heat with the hands, multi-shot combos, makes this a scrap. The problem is, can she avoid the grappling? I'm going to bank on yes. She's going to, at the very least, find ways back to the center of the cage, ways back to her feet. Of course, we are in the small cage, but we're with two smaller individuals. Ladies matchup. I don't think it makes a huge difference. If Lovato can get space and strike, she's going to win the fight, and I will take her on the scorecards. I think that Vojic will be fighting with a more finish-minded style, which I think could get her in susceptible positions where Lovato will have success. I'm going to ride Lovato to win a decision. Ultra competitive fight. I think that it should be entertaining. Vojic, the style typically is cage pressure, takedowns, and control. You're not going to get a UFC contract fighting like that. I expect her to try to scrap, and I'm going to ride with Lovato to upset her. Plus 190 Lovato, Vojic at minus 220 range, minus 209 best value. I do think we're probably going the distance at minus 285. I don't like the props here. Lovato to win by decision is plus 300. Vojic by decision, minus 130. If you're going in with a point-winning, grinding decision mindset, there's no reason to fight in the Contender Series because you will not be awarded a contract. That's Vojic's mindset. Lovato's coming to fight. I'm going with the Peruvian zombie, Sandra Lovato, to win over Carolina Vojic. Next fight of the night, Clayton Carpenter and Edgar Chavez. Expect fireworks. I'm riding with Clayton Carpenter. He's the pick confidently. He should run through Chavez, who I think is a lot less technically skilled than him, but a guy who's down for a good strap pressure, kickboxing style, very scrappy, has a pretty decent straight jab followed by his low kicks. Will mix it up in close range with quick punch combos. Interested and open to getting into brawls a bit. The thing is, he's fighting Clayton Carpenter, who's an explosive finisher, flyweight division, both guys in flyweight, but like explosive power, Clayton Carpenter. Knockout ability, Carpenter. Grappling skill set, Carpenter. Physical strength, Carpenter. Everything to me favors Carpenter. Technical skill set, Carpenter. He's athletic and he's well-rounded at just 26. Yes, Chavez also being 26, I don't think has the same level of technical skills. I think we're going to see Clayton Carpenter TKO him in the second round in an action-packed fight where both guys are hungry for a contract. Great matchmaking, and I do believe the winner of this bout gets signed. It's going to be Clayton Carpenter. Granted, he's a big favorite. We'll first check out the face-offs here. You see the ladies going after it there in their face-off. Holy shit, we got multiple picks. Clayton Carpenter there looks shredded, ready to rock. Chavez, he, to me, doesn't look 26. He looks 41. And then there's the face-off. Clayton Carpenter will run through Chavez, in my opinion. He's going to knock him out. Lines for this fight. Chavez is plus 289 as the dog, minus 285 Carpenter as the favorite. I like Clayton Carpenter confidently to win the bout. Carpenter KO TKO is plus 425. I do believe that's how he wins. Carpenter inside distance at minus 145. They're expecting a Carpenter submission at plus 165, but I think Chavez's style is actually going to aid towards knockout. Granted, inside distance is a safer play. I do believe Carpenter wins inside distance. You need a finish or at least a hyper impressive war to get signed. Carpenter's looking for a finish. Chavez looking for a finish. Carpenter gets the finish. Win by KO. Contender series. And I predict he gets signed by the UFC and somebody to watch at flyweight. Next fight. Anvar Boinarezov versus Eric Silva. Man, I like Anvar Boinarezov. He's entertaining to watch, but you can't pick against Eric Silva's grappling. You can't. Yes, Anvar has a path to victory. It's striking. The guy's an incredible kickboxer. Over 120 fights, including Muay Thai. On the feet, he knows it all and he's seen it all. Eric Silva obviously knows his opponent is an A1 striker. He's going to look to get the fight to the floor. Eric Silva will land takedowns. He will get on top. And I promise you, he will rear naked choke Anvar in a round and a half or less. I believe Eric Silva by submission, kind of a lock here. Extremely confident that he gets it done. If he gets overzealous and says, let me test myself standing, he's getting knocked the fuck out. Problem is, I don't think he's with that mentality of, oh, I'm going to strike with a guy who has 120 striking matches. I don't believe it. I really don't believe it. I think Eric Silva is going to come with a pressure style, make Anvar think he's striking for a moment, shoot. Immediately. He wants to fight on the floor. He does not want to test the glory kickboxer on the feet. A guy who's fought in glory, has fought in Muay Thai. Anvar's a problem. If he gets space standing up, he's going to sleep Silva. If Silva fights with a game plan of a mixed martial artist, he doesn't pull a Sean Strickland trying to strike with Alex Pereira, which Silva won't do because he wants to fight in the UFC, he's going to win by submission in the first or second round. Eric Silva, win by sub, but I do like Anvar. But he's right now too one-dimensional and too many ifs. I'm going with the more well-rounded mixed martial artist here. We'll look at the face-offs. There is Anvar Boinarezov, and then there is Eric Silva. And there's the face-off. A little bit of space between the two. I think Silva subs him up. Silva subs him up, man. Silva subs him. Eric Silva, minus 135 is the favorite. Anvar is plus 122 as the underdog. Silva wins by sub plus 225. That is my official prediction, and I really do expect that as the result here. Eric Silva, win, submission over Anvar. UFC contract signed as well. Co-main event, Paul Hanato Jr. versus Jamal Poyes. Let's talk about Hanato Jr. for a second because the footage I was able to find on him is only from his Instagram. He is a dangerous striker, though. The man comes to fight. He's got a Muay Thai background. He can stand and fight, but you got to pick Jamal. You can't pick someone who has no footage of his MMA fights out there. Reason being, he's not fighting high-level guys. Look at the last matchup. 6-14. 0-0. 3-1. Okay, I mean, 3-1's fine. 3-1, 2-2. Paul Hanato Jr. is a decent striker. He's a scrappy dude. He's only 6 foot, though. He's undersized for heavyweight. He's not naturally a heavyweight. He looks more the shape of a guy fighting even at 185. When you look through his Instagram, he was a lot smaller earlier on in his career. Decided to bulk up, fight at heavyweight. Poyes, I'm not super impressed by him. I'll be 100% honest. I'd rather see Hanato sleep him and get this emphatic upset. So maybe the money attack Hanato, but I'm picking Poyes to win. I do pick him by submission in the second round. I expect a grinding, grappling heavy game. It's grapply. He's going to be pressing. He wants the body lock. He wants the cage pressure. He wants to trip from there. He wants to get on top. He wants to get the back, and he wants to choke Hanato Jr. out. Too many ifs with Hanato Jr. to pick him, but if you're looking for like a crazy bet, maybe not a terrible idea. We'll look at them on the scales. There is Jamal Poyes. He hasn't fought in how long? A year and 10 months. He beat Tim Hiley by a decision. I don't necessarily understand why this is a fight in the Contender Series. Maybe it's a setup fight in Hanato. Somebody knows something that we don't. Maybe Hanato Jr. is a straight killer. But when you only have Instagram footage of his training, of his fighting, we know minimal. I cannot find an MMA fight in this guy. If you know where an MMA fight is, you have the link for it, link me it in the description. From what I saw, the guy's got decent kickboxing, though. I know he trains jiu-jitsu. I'd rather see Hanato win, but so many ifs. He's fighting low level. He's fighting cans. Plus 260 Hanato, minus 290 Poyes. No bet situation for me, unless you're dog attacking Hanato Jr. By KO is plus 400. It's not even that great. Maybe somebody knows something we don't. Poyes, leaning him by submission. It's plus 550 for sub, though. I think Poyes probably subs him. Maybe he wins a grinding decision. Maybe this fight's absolute shit, but I hope someone's going to bed. No bet on Poyes. I would dog attack it maybe by the knockout prop, but a lot of ifs in this fight. One to sit down and just watch, and I'm a little bit confused why this fight's on the Contender Series, because I don't think either are necessarily UFC prospects at the moment. I know Poyes won on the Contender Series previously, but then he dropped the next fight. Polizzi submits him. Granted, it's Alex Polizzi, but he hasn't fought in almost 2 years. We'll find out. Poyes win over the unknown Paulo Hanato Jr. Main event of the evening. If you guys have not yet, smash the like button. And if you're new, subscribe. It is Zach Borrego versus Beau Nickel. Guys, the pick is Beau Nickel. It has to be. But the line is retarded in this matchup. I guess I can't say it. The line is not intelligent in this matchup. The line is crazy in this matchup. The line makes no sense to me. I understand Beau Nickel's a problem, but minus 1408, minus 2500. I mean, they're acting like you're dealing with Amanda Nunes versus some girl off the side of the road. Plus 1350 Borrego. We don't know a lot about Beau Nickel aside from he's an elite wrestler. He seems to have a good striking game from the southpaw stance. He's explosive with knockout power, but the guy he knocked out was over 34 and looked like shit. Granted, he did have an amateur background and a good amount of experience and an okay record, so I don't want to completely stifle the pro debut of Beau Nickel, and he's got 2 wins as an amateur as well. Nickel wins inside distance, minus 565. Nickel wins by sub, plus 240. What I saw from Borrego is a sloppy striker with not a ton of ability. Yes, this is a give-me fight for Beau Nickel. And I like Beau. I'm not trying to shit on the guy. I believe he's going to win. I think he's still got a future in MMA. But with just one pro fight, why are we putting him on the Contender Series? Let's let this kid get a little bit going. I would hope, and this is what I'm thinking they're going to do, they give him a developmental deal where he's forced to maybe fight on the Contender Series one more time. Maybe he fights, a fight on the regional scene. Give him a little more experience. I don't like seeing fighters with less than 5 pro fights in the UFC. Beau Nickel might have a lot of potential, but could take some L's. We're going to find out. I'm riding with him over Zach, though. There's Beau. There's a face-off. I mean, it's not like Borrego's a small dude. He's 3-0 as a pro as well. Now, Borrego wins. Are they going to sign him to the UFC? I don't really think this fight makes a ton of sense. And he's got amateur experience, too. Not like he's fought high-level guys a pro. 0-1, 1-1, 4-8. Beau Nickel win against John Nolan. But granted, he had some amateur experience. Billy Goudet, David Conley. I like what I've seen from Nickel. And then also, I mean, Borrego comes in overweight. That's something to note at 87.5. I don't know if that's mind games. He ain't getting a UFC contract. Beau Nickel should be able to win. I'm going to lean Beau Nickel inside of the distance with a second round submission. Maybe a KO, but leaning submission. Maybe the first round also. But so many unknowns. Weird fight. It's the main event, and you got a guy 1-0 and 3-0. I don't necessarily think Beau should be getting a UFC contract yet. If you are telling me I want to play parlays, how should I line the slate? I think Clayton Carpenter is a fantastic pick. I think you could parlay it up with Eric Silva. I think you get risky if you're looking to play other things. Maybe Sandra Lovato and Carolina going over 2.5 rounds if that's available. That could be a 3-fight play. I would sleep on the Poyes fight. I would sleep on the Nickel fight. Enjoy the action. Contender Series. Going to be a fun one. I hope you guys enjoyed the breakdown. Smash the hell out of the like button if you're new. Subscribe. Turn those post notifications on and share the video as well. I appreciate the continued support. We hit 9,000 subs, road to 10K. I love each one of you guys. Thank you so much. Big things on the way. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. If you don't have anything to say, drop a W in the chat as always to boost the algorithm. I will see you all in the next one, everybody. Peace and have a fantastic night.